Hello and welcome along and welcome back to a very wet and windy no man's land here. Thankfully we're under the cover at the moment, but we can't do any farming from under here. So let's head out and look at what we have got to do today, and you can probably see what we need to do today before we can do any more work on this field. It is absolutely packed with stones. Now, I think part of this is to give us a good base and something to work with when we start the map. And yeah, I think there's a fair amount of money's worth that can be made from here. So today what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves a stone picker and go and get those all collected up. And if we have time after that, we've got into the autumn, we may be able to start getting stuff planted. Or rolled. Actually, rolling the ground may be a better idea. We'll see when we get there. Let's jump in, though, to our Massey Ferguson at 3709 AL and head down to the shop. That way, we can go and pick up something to get these stones up. Now, this is the updated version of No Man's Land. So, finally, we can sell bales along with a being able to place a sawmill as well. So that's all good news. Is our lady behind the desk still disappearing? Yes, she is. But that's okay, because we don't need her here in order to grab ourselves a stone picker. Now, the stone picker I want is this one here. And I'm intrigued to see how much it'll cost us to lease it. So, per day, it would be £250. I think that is more than it would cost us per day to borrow the 25,000 to buy this, and we're going to be using this a fair amount to begin with. So I'm not going to lease this. I am going to buy this. It's one of those things where at the moment we're using a plow all the time, so it makes sense for us to be buying it outright instead. So let's head over here into here, and we're going to borrow and get ourselves above 25,000. There we go. And then we can come into here and buy this. I think I'm going to do a video actually on the difference between leasing and borrowing money to buy stuff. I think there are different situations where different things apply. 25,000, yes please. And as a result, it's a bit more fluid than a few of my comments have been. And in some situations, as I've been portraying it in things like my start from scratch videos. So I want to see what the difference would be. We're probably going to take something like a combine, lease it, do an hour's work on it, and then return it and see how much, and compare that to buying it and holding it on for the year, doing the same amount of work. I think it would be a very interesting comparison to make. Now, this stone picker does require a little bit more power than our little tractor has. It's about 5 horsepower extra, but that shouldn't be a massive problem. We'll fold it out, and yeah, we're going to run it all over this field. So start it up, and away we go. And as we've been finding out on Hope Belleron, we shouldn't have any weeds in this field because we have ploughed it. And so the payoff to that is because we've got a plough and not a cultivator, and we're basically looking to plough fields, at least for initially on here, we're not going to end up with a massive, we're going to end up with stones rather than weeds. So owning this de-stoner, especially while we're doing this way, makes a certain amount of sense. It's we're not going to have any weeds, so we have no need for a weeder or a sprayer as it stands at the moment. In fact, we probably have more need for a solid fertilizer spreader that can do lime if we can. Oh, we've not lowered that down. Let's back this up and try again. Only picked up 4 litres at the moment, but then that's because the main bit of the field is where this is. And there we go. And down. And away we go. One other piece of kit I think is going to be absolutely necessary to us on here is going to be a roller. Rolling does produce a higher amount of yield by about 5% once we've done our seeding. So yeah, grabbing a roller I think is going to be a very useful piece of kit. I love the sound this Destoner makes as you're picking up the rocks. You've got this lovely tinkling sound. If you can hear that as they come in, it's absolutely fantastic. The sound effects all over FS22 are pretty brilliant. And I love the sound that comes in with this game and the sound production that they've put into it for this new version. They are missing. This isn't very wide. It's the only thing with this little Destoner. And as a result, there are a couple of places where I've just missed a pile of stones as I'm going around. The other question you might have is, why am I not just going and grabbing those patches on the field where there are stones? The field is fairly well covered, to be honest. And as a result, we're having to cover most of the field with this. Also, it changes the ground texture across the whole thing. I'm not sure if it actually turns it to cultivated. Let's have a quick look in here and see if it does. There we go. So let's have a look at our ground texture. So yes, it does. It switches it from the ploughed to the cultivated as well. So it's worth going through and doing the whole field, because it serves that second purpose and just breaks the plough down a little bit in doing it. So yeah, it's a useful little thing to do and moves us on a stage on our field. There are so many rocks on this. Somebody said there's 9,000 litres of rocks on this field in one of my comments. I don't know if that's true, and we'll find out as we go through this field. At the moment, we're nearly halfway through it though, and we've only picked up 300. So yeah, this is not a money-making thing that we're doing here. This is purely to ensure that when we get our seeder and our combine and things like that, we are using the we're causing the minimum amount of damage to it while we work this field. And we're going to have a lot of stones come up, I think, around the whole thing. But yeah, at the moment, we're not even got 1,000 litres off this field. And we are a good way into being about, well, I think we're about halfway through it. As we get to this side of the field, it's becoming a little bit more tricky to turn around. We haven't got the space at the ends anymore, so I'm having to turn around on the field a little bit before the end, and then come back in on this end and then work my way into my line. On the other end of the field, I've got a bigger problem because the tractor is on the wrong side for the rock. We've got the tractor on the left-hand side, which means we're as close as we are to the rock on this end. We're not able to come around to get it. So we're picking up more on the way out than on the way back. So we come to here, we lift up, and then we spin around and come back in. And it's, yeah, it's a little bit more tricky, but it is working, and we're leaving a little bit of a headland that we're sort of clearing up as we go, but it's doing quite well. We're over 1,000 litres of stones off here now though, so it is quite a big amount of stones that we've had on this field. I'm expecting lots more, so we're going to be just storing all these stones for now. We will go and sell them, but I'm going to go and sell them later when we do, when we can load the trailer up and we've got our bales sold. And when we've done some more fields, I don't think there's any point in selling just 1,000 litres of stones. We'll go and actually sell a larger amount from that. But the one thing we do need to watch out for is making sure that we won't actually be better off just converting them to lime. There's a couple of production facilities now where we can convert stones to lime. I think the latest one does 4,000 litres of lime for every 1,000 litres of stone, which is quite a considerable amount of lime, to be honest. We don't need to put any lime on any of our fields for now. But long term, that might be a really good reason to keep these stones around so that we can actually make something of them later. And this should be our last run and get all the stones collected. I'm hoping there's not going to be any left behind. Nope, that's got all of those. And that's the last ones there. There we go. So all told, we have got 1,331 litres of stones. That's pretty good. It is just over half full. So I'm actually going to leave them in this. And as we own this, having it kicking around isn't going to make a massive amount of difference to us. And this is where having borrowing the money to have something kicking around that you're going to have kicking around for a while makes a little bit more sense, because it's not going to cost us £200 odd a day to have that sitting there. Let's bring this over here, and what we're going to do next is, now that the sun's come out, I think it might be time to get into the back meadow and start getting that cut. We have our mower here, and yeah, we want to get that cut road and then start planning our fields out the back way. So let's connect that up. Connect, yep, that all up. Bring this in. We're okay for fuel at the moment, and we're okay for repairs. So I need to, you know what I do need to do? I need to make a road going from here. I think we need to widen the road that actually exists here, because there is a path that we have that goes, it's a footpath really that goes through here, and in fact just goes to there. Yeah, I think we need to add a road in, so we're going to add a road off of this bit here. This I think ultimately is going to be where our main farmyard is. So let's bring this up, and construction, landscaping, and I want to come around here and bring us a we're just gonna go with dirt. There we are. And we've got quite a small one at the moment. Yeah, we have. So let's bring that up. Bring this up. The change brush size is N and M. Change cursor shape is B. Right, there we go. So bring that up. Yeah, that is maybe a little bit big. I'm guessing the reason why it won't let me do it there is because I'm standing there. So let's move us back over towards our truck. And then try that again. Right, there we go. And landscaping, and no, it won't let me paint there. Interestingly. Oh no, that's because I'm not on the painting. Right. Dirt. Increase the size. Change the shape. There we go. So we want to put a roadway through here like this. We will meet up with the track that already exists. So over here. Yep. And then I'm going to widen the existing tracks a little bit. So we'll take that down and we'll just, so that we can more obviously see where our road goes through here. Just clear this off a little bit. There we go. Because we can't, there's not much of a field we can do there. And we've got a great big rock in the way. It's just a case of, yeah, having a dirt track that we can do going down the side here. Through this way here. And this kind of will define where our fields are a little bit. And then we've got opening up into actually quite a big meadow up here. So that's quite useful. We can have something up to the edge of our land about here. We could then have a very big sprawling field this way if we wanted. Although there is hidden under here a little bit of a roadway. Yeah. That sort of we can go like this and like that and sort of do under there, and we can branch that out later. But yeah, there's a definite roadway under there. So let's go and take the mower and go and cut ourselves some grass. We should be able to get quite a bit of extra stuff off here. And yes, I'm not going to put anything immediately there. I am going to come off here, turn this on, and start cutting us a field around here. Although this one I think might end up staying grass, simply because it's a little bit hillier than our other one is. So I've cut along the boundary up here, and you can see the point at which the sort of field bit ends and the road begins. So what I'm going to do is actually we're going to try and cut. I want to cut and reveal this road so that I can see exactly where it needs to go. So let's just cut along here towards this bit. And I need to kind of section this. We try and do all of this grass at once, we are going to be here forever. But we do need to find the edge of this road and work out where we're going to place these fields. I don't want to put a big piece of rock in the middle of a field as well. We've got this tree here too, so we've got to be a little bit careful about where this field is going to go. But at the moment, I'm just going to get all this grass up and create another load of silage bales so that we can bring in some more cash and get this running. Maybe even eventually get a BGA running on here so that silage is a really good crop for us. Despite the hilliness of this field, it might actually work as an arable field as well. And yeah, I'm very much considering going back on what I just said. As I did say though, I don't think we could include this area of rocks that we've got at the top end of the field in it. I think it would end up being a bit of a, well, it would basically add more headland and a little bit more difficulty to us harvesting it. I think the bit to the side where we got that large rock there, that is probably going to have to remain more of a grassland area. So that would certainly work. But I'm just sort of looking at this and going, right, where can we get a lot of field out and where can we do this? And to be honest, the best place for a big arable field, although initially probably cut into a couple of smaller ones, is going to be opposite where we are now. Whatever happens, I do want to get this field plowed. Plowing and reseeding this grass is going to make a big difference to us. It will definitely allow us to manage this land a bit better and allow us to get a better crop off here. So it's still going to have to be plowed this area. It is just a case of are we going to then reseed it with grass, or are we going to reseed it with arable crop? Let me know in the comments. I'm intrigued to see what you guys think. Should we just put grass back down in this field, or should we put another crop in instead and basically just try and keep expanding the farm with grass fields going on when we get our next bit, and hopefully a nice another 85,000 off our first year. That would be really something. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think is the best course of action going forwards here? I mean, we could just do silage and grass and reseed our fields with that. That would probably save us quite a bit of money because we wouldn't need to get a harvester. And at the same time, would get us more crops. So, you know, that is a valid possibility as well. Coming up to the end of the field, one more strip to do. And yeah, this is actually a nice sized, easy to work field. I think that it would work as one to do arable or grass in, overall. We are going to get a nice amount of grass off here. Not as much as we're going to get off that really big one on the other side. But I do want to try and get this road defined as well. Because if we can do that, then we're going to be a good place. So, actually, I don't want to completely fold that up. I want to see if we can cut the roadway and show where that is. It's actually a fairly wide roadway, looking at this. So, up to the top here. We're right on the edge of the land that we own here. Let's turn this on and through here and see if we can see where this actually goes. I think, yeah, it's over this way here, coming down and around and into here. Should do it. You can see it on the map. You can't so easily see it on the ground. But once we get this all road and bailed up, it should be much easier to see. And then what we can do is we can go and define it using the paint tool with the landscaping and just sort of work things in a little bit better. We don't have to do this. It's not a requirement, but I kind of like giving us several fields, except rather than just a single field or a single giant field to work. Especially with the kind of size of equipment we're using at the moment, it's better to try and spread things out a little bit, I think. So bring this around here, and yeah, when we row that up, we should be able to more easily see where that goes. So let's do exactly that. Let's take this back to our farmyard, or what we have as an excuse for a farmyard at the moment, and get this switched over to our rower, which is just here. So let's bring that here, back this up, drop it down, and then we can switch over. Right, and attach the attach that and that, lift it up, and away we go. There we are. Right, and then we want to pull the first lot of grass away from the edge. So let's, that is already unfolded. Turn it on. And I don't start right at the edge because we want to try and circle it round. But we do want to try and stick as close to the edge to get this first row in as possible. Like so. And that just works fairly well. I actually have an idea and a theory on how to make this be a little bit more efficient and work a little bit wider that I'm going to try this time. Let's just pull that in around there, because you can see if you position it right, you can pile it on the top of the next row. So if we then switch out to another row across, we might actually be able to put 3 rows into one rather than just 2, which would save us an awful lot of time. But it is just positioning everything right and hoping that the pickup on our baler is wide enough to do it. This little windrower works really, really well, and its reach is meaning we are managing to pull 3 lines into one with every row that we do, which is absolutely brilliant. That is going to reduce the amount of time that we need to spend getting everything baled up. And means we'll actually produce bales a little bit quicker. I'm trying to pull bits away from the trees and things, though, on these headlands, just to make things, again, a little bit easier when we come around here with the baler. It is getting fairly late in the day here, though, on No Man's Land. We are up to 6 in the evening, and I'm going to need to start at the other side of the field now. Because we've got the headlands all rowed up, and we want to start getting the main body of the field, and that means we need to be pushing in from the outside here, and in doing that we're then going to end up with some nice rows going up and down the field that we can then get baled up next time. We'll just leave these nicely piled until then, and we'll be able to get them baled and wrapped, and then they can start fermenting, ready for us to get some sales in the near future. And hopefully that's going to fund the next stage of what we do on the farm. We do have a lot more grass work to do on here, and of course we do need to get something into the field that we've now prepared, ready for probably a winter crop of some description. I'm very much thinking we need to have at least one field of crop in order to give us some straw at the very least for how we're looking to move forwards. Sun is fading fast now, and we are coming up to the last couple of rows here. Been quite a productive day here on our farm on No Man's Land. We've managed to get all of our crop. Well, we've managed to get our first field fully prepared. We are now getting our second one cut with grass, and we should make a load of money off this as well. And the same is going to be true, hopefully, of our last field or two, depending on how we break down that large meadow. I'm going to bring this through here and get this parked up next to our truck. Because, yeah, that will do us for the day. We'll leave the lights on for this for a moment so that we can actually see what we're doing as we finish up. Next time, what we're going to be doing is getting that all baled up and wrapped. We may even have our first set of silage bales ready to sell. So I'm looking forward to that. We're going to be getting some money in finally and continuing to develop our farm. For now, though, I'm going to leave this here. So all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos from Virtual Farmer, please subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.